My wife was completely devoted to her family, to a fault. When her mother asked her to donate a kidney to her brother, her expression was serene. "It's just a kidney," she'd said. "It's for my brother." But later, in private, she hinted to me that her health wasn't good. I flatly refused her mother's unreasonable demand. Eventually, my brother-in-law passed away, far too young. Sometime after, I caught my wife, Ava, washing underwear for the personal trainer who lived downstairs. When I confronted her, she pushed me down the stairs. "You can go to hell," she seethed, her voice dripping with venom. "You're a heartless monster. If you hadn't stopped me from donating my kidney, my brother would still be alive, and I never would have cheated on you." After I died, Ava told everyone I'd taken my own life, overwhelmed by stress. Then, dressed in a white wedding gown, she moved the personal trainer into our home. She even posted a picture on Instagram with the caption, "Finally with a man who knows how to treat a woman." #upgraded. The next time I opened my eyes, I was alive. It was the day she was supposed to donate the kidney. "Ava, honey, you and your brother share the same blood. Only your kidney can save him. I'm begging you, please don't let our family line end." My mother-in-law sat on the long hospital bench, clutching my wife Ava's hand, sobbing hysterically. The scene was so familiar it felt surreal. I pinched my thigh hard. Damn, that hurt. Could it be? Did God take pity on me and give me a second chance? Ava's eyes were red-rimmed. "Mom," she trailed off, instinctively looking at me, her face a mask of conflict. She was waiting for me to make the decision for her. Having learned my lesson from the last lifetime, this time I stayed silent, a chilling coldness spreading through my chest. This time, without my interference, let's see if Ava can still play the part of the innocent, sweet girl while hiding a heart full of poison. My mother-in-law's wails grew louder. "I raised you from the day you were born. Have you forgotten? When your brother was 3, he gave you his last Oreo. He's always been so good to you. You can't just stand by and watch him die." I laughed inwardly. My mother-in-law was a master of the guilt trip. Who remembers something from when they were 5? Just as Ava hesitated, my mother-in-law played her trump card. Think about those women in historical dramas, the sacrifices they make for their family's honor and legacy. Why can't you do the same? That line sealed the deal for Ava. She glanced at the curious onlookers, her expression becoming placid and detached. "It's just a kidney," she said calmly. "I'll give it to my brother. I grew up in my parents' house, ate their food, and never had a chance to truly repay them. Now is the time for me to show my gratitude." With that, she shot a resentful, wounded look in my direction and coughed twice, meaningfully. My mother-in-law glared at me. I'd always been on her bad side for shielding Ava from her family's endless, unreasonable demands. In the past, I would have stepped in right here, put Ava's well-being first, and shut down anything that could harm her. This time, I just applauded. "You're right, honey. I'm so proud to have a wife who is so selfless." A flash of shock crossed Ava's face. She never expected me to say that. "Honey, you really support me." I took her hand, forcing a look of deep affection. "Sweetheart, I'll support whatever decision you make. You can't let your own selfish desires stand in the way of the Miller family's future. After all, your parents went through so much to raise you." I turned to my mother-in-law. "Right, Mom?" She froze for a second, then grabbed Ava's hand excitedly. "See? Even your husband agrees. Let's get you admitted right now. The sooner we can get that kidney transplanted, the better." Tears welled in Ava's eyes. "But honey, what if I can't have children after I donate my kidney?" I smiled. "It doesn't matter. As long as I have you, I don't mind if we don't have kids." "Yeah, right," I thought. "You already hate my guts. You think you'd ever have a child with me? I might be a nice guy, but I'm not an idiot." Ava grew more frantic. "But Ethan, you know my health has never been great. What if?" Seeing her stall, I cut her off, making a solemn vow. "Ava, go ahead and do it. You have my full support." I took a deep breath, deliberately trying to scare her. "I mean, I know that losing a kidney has consequences. It's a big deal. But don't worry. At worst, you might develop diabetes, maybe some complications that need constant care. But I'll be right there by your side, no matter what. I promise, honey. You can count on me." I had to suppress a wave of self-loathing. God, the lies men tell. Ava's face went pale. "Mom, I'm not feeling so good today. Maybe we can do this another time." Just as I predicted, she was scared and backing out. But my mother-in-law was relentless. She grabbed Ava's arm. No, not another time. You just said in front of all these people that you would donate your kidney. You can't go back on your word. As she started to drag Ava toward the admissions desk to sign the papers, Ava's eyes rolled back, and she collapsed to the floor. It was so obviously fake. I turned to my mother-in-law. Mom, this is actually perfect. While she's out, the doctors can run some tests to see which of her kidneys is in the best shape for Kevin. Or hey, maybe they could just swap both of her healthy kidneys for Kevin's one failing one. My mother-in-law's eyes lit up. That's a brilliant idea. That way she can't change her mind. The moment the words left her mouth, Ava's eyes fluttered open, a single tear tracing a path down her temple. I'll do it. She looked so tragically beautiful, but this time her performance didn't stir an ounce of pity in me. After the surgery, Ava developed an infection and a high fever. Her mother came by, took one look at her, and left. As much as I hated Ava and wanted her to face consequences, I couldn't just watch someone die in front of me. I called the doctors, and after a few more days of touch and go, she stabilized. During those days, when I wasn't bringing Ava water or food, I was on the phone with a lawyer drawing up divorce papers. Ava and I had been classmates from elementary through high school. We were childhood sweethearts, and the nostalgia of that shared history always stirred something in me. When we reconnected after high school, I was captivated by her gentle demeanor. We got married quickly, without really getting to know the new people we'd become. After the wedding, I realized she was unhinged. Once, a neighbor casually mentioned that she also liked orchids. Ava came home, cut all of our orchids to shreds, and threw them in the trash. I like orchids, she fumed. What right does she have to like them too? She even threw a fit if a coworker carried the same brand of purse as her. If a colleague couldn't cover a shift for her, she'd come home and cry for an hour. Why didn't I leave then? I kept telling myself that building a life together was hard and worth fighting for. Looking back now, I see it clearly. She saw herself as the main character in some epic drama, and everyone else was just a supporting cast member who had to cater to her every whim. Her brother, Kevin, was discharged from the hospital while Ava was still recovering. She looked at me, her eyes shimmering with tears, and demanded, "Why didn't you stop my mom? If you had, I wouldn't have had to donate my kidney. So, you get to be the saint, and I'm supposed to be the bad guy. Is that it?" I discreetly started a voice recording on my phone. "But wasn't it your decision? You said you owed it to your mom for raising you. Ava, we can't just forget the sacrifices our families make for us, can we?" "What do you know?" she screamed. "This is a kidney. I only did it because you all pressured me. Kevin has another one. It's not like he was going to die." She coughed dramatically. A mix of regret and disappointment twisted her features into a mask of disgust. "You only agreed because you were worried about how it would look. You didn't care about me at all. Get out. You got it." I left the hospital, feeling lighter than I had in years. As soon as I got home, my mother-in-law called, demanding to know why I'd abandoned Ava at the hospital. I just played her the recording. I could hear her grit her teeth before she muttered "ungrateful brat" under her breath. Then, her tone shifted, and she thanked me profusely for my support that day at the hospital. Watching their family turn on each other was deeply, deeply satisfying. While Ava was in the hospital, a new gym opened up downstairs. It was staffed entirely by muscular trainers. I immediately recognized him, the guy whose underwear I'd find in my laundry basket. He was standing out front in a white tank top, handing out flyers. I made sure to take one and left it in the most obvious spot in our apartment. A week later, Ava came home from the hospital, looking frail and weak. The moment she walked in the door, she started finding fault with everything I did. I just focused on my work and waited for the next act to begin. Just like in my first life, I came home from work to find Ava on the sofa, her eyes red and puffy from crying. Her best friend and coworker, Sarah, was sitting beside her. "Ava, stop crying. I know you didn't leak the design proposal." Seeing me, Sarah immediately said, "Ethan, you're home. Thank goodness. You need to comfort Ava. She got chewed out by our boss today." I feigned surprise. "What happened?" Sarah explained, "The design proposal got leaked to a competitor. I'm sure Ava didn't mean for it to happen, but the boss is sending her to work with the engineering team out in the middle of nowhere. It's so unfair." Ava lifted her chin, a proud, swan-like gesture. "The truth will come out. I did nothing wrong. Even if they banish me to some backwoods office, I will not admit to something I didn't do. I smiled and nodded in agreement. You're absolutely right, honey. We didn't do it, so we'll deny it to the bitter end. Sarah's mouth fell open. That satellite office is in a town with like 200 people. It's going to be miserable. Are you really going to let her go? What kind of husband are you? Ava, with tears still clinging to her eyelashes, looked at me with a mixture of shock and disappointment. I'm her husband, I said firmly, which is exactly why I'm supporting her decision. My words seemed to infuriate Ava. Fine. If you're so eager to get rid of me, I'll leave tonight. She stormed into the bedroom to pack. A moment later, I could hear Sarah in the bedroom with her. Ava, maybe leave the stilettos and cocktail dresses. That's probably not the most practical wardrobe for a remote mountain town. Ava's stubborn voice replied, I will maintain my dignity, even in exile. Ignoring Sarah's advice, she stuffed her suitcase with high heels, designer bags, and sheath dresses, as if she were heading to a resort. I sat in the living room, amused. In my first life, I had investigated and found the real mole, so she never had to go. This time, without my help, I wondered how she'd survive on her own. Ava dragged her suitcase to the door and stared at me, her expression defiant. I knew she was waiting for me to beg her to stay. I remained unmoved. Well, honey, since your mind is made up, I won't stop you. Sarah shot me a disgusted look. You've changed, she said, her voice dripping with syrupy disappointment. You look at her now, and all I see is disappointment. She was disappointed in me. How rich. I was the one who should be disappointed. In my first life, I put her on a pedestal, protected her from every little hurt and injustice. And how did she repay me? She murdered me for my assets and married another man before my body was even cold. If she had even a shred of love for me, she wouldn't have been capable of that. I opened the door for them. It's getting late. You should probably get going. You don't have to kick me out, Ava snapped. A day will come when you'll be on your knees, begging me to come back, and I won't. She dragged her suitcase out the door without a backward glance. Sarah lingered behind, sighing dramatically. You two used to be so in love. How did it come to this? I looked at her, a wry smile playing on my lips. Who knows? You're her best friend. Why don't you go with her? Sarah's eyes darted away. I didn't leak the proposal. Besides, she added, her voice dropping, she doesn't deserve a great guy like you. She covered her mouth, feigning embarrassment. Oh, I didn't say anything. I should go. If I hadn't lived through this once before, I might have actually been fooled by her little act. It didn't matter to me anymore who framed Ava. After a few steps, Sarah turned back and smiled. Hey, maybe we should exchange numbers? Just in case something happens with Avian, I need to reach you. I agreed readily. Sure. For the first few days, Sarah sent me regular updates on Ava's life in the mountains. Pictures of her face planting in the mud after insisting on wearing stilettos in the rain, stories of her holding up projects, and complaints about how the one diner in town was cash only and she couldn't use Apple Pay. Seeing her so miserable made me laugh out loud. Sarah started stopping by my place more often, claiming she was lonely and wanted to help with chores. Just when I thought Ava would be stuck in that remote town for a while, she burst through the front door, looking like she'd been dragged through a hedge backward. She marched straight to the kitchen and grabbed Sarah, who was cooking, by the hair. I treated you like a sister, and you stabbed me in the back. Sarah cried out, Ava, what are you doing? I've been trying to help you, and this is how you thank me? Help me. Ava sneered. If you hadn't framed me, I never would have been sent to that hellhole in the first place. Sarah held her ground. When did I ever frame you? Fine. Ava snarled, shoving Sarah away. She turned to me. Ethan, why didn't you find the evidence for me this time? She glared at me. I don't need you anyway. It won't be long before. Her words died in her throat, and she rushed out the door again. Soon after, the truth about Sarah leaking the design proposal came out. The way Ava uncovered the evidence sent a chill down my spine. She followed the exact same steps I had taken in my previous life. Combined with what she'd just said, could it be? Had she been reborn too? The thought was confirmed a few days later when I found several pairs of men's underwear, soaking in a basin in the bathroom. Last time, I'd found them hidden in her laundry and naively assumed she'd bought new ones for me. I only found out later they belonged to the personal trainer downstairs. This time, she left them out in the open, as if she were waiting for me to confront her. But I wasn't going to play her game. She loved money. I was going to make sure she didn't get a single cent. After a few days of my non-reaction, Ava finally lost her patience. She slammed the basin of water and underwear down in front of me. Aren't you even going to ask whose these are? I didn't look up from my video game. Whose? A triumphant smirk spread across her face. They belonged to the personal trainer downstairs. His water got shut off for a few days, so I told him I'd wash his clothes for him. I kicked the basin, sending it flying across the room, and adopted her signature calm, detached tone. Whatever makes you happy. I fully support you in your philanthropic efforts. The words tasted like acid in my mouth. We'd been married for years, and she'd never once washed my socks or underwear, always acting like it was beneath her. Now, she was happily doing laundry for a guy she'd known for a few weeks. Ava looked stunned. Are you even a man? I'm supporting you, honey. What do you want me to say? I asked, turning the question back on her. Her lips moved, but no words came out. Fine, she finally said. Then give me $5,000. I need to sign up for some private training sessions so I don't get out of shape. All my money's tied up in investments right now. Sorry, I wasn't about to fund her affair. Furious that she couldn't get any money out of me, Ava grabbed her pillow and blanket and stormed off to the guest room. Fine by me. I could use the peace and quiet. We didn't speak for days. Her behavior became more and more reckless. It seemed that, knowing my fate from the last life, she felt invincible, flaunting her affair with the trainer. I hired a private investigator to follow her. It wasn't long before I had pictures of them checking into a hotel. I collected the photos with a cold smile. This was good, but it wasn't enough to ensure she walked away with nothing. I had a much bigger game to play. As I expected, my continued indifference made Ava bolder. While I was away on a business trip, she brought him home. Watching the security camera footage of the two of them tangled together on my sofa, I lit a cigarette. Ava was draped over the trainer, stroking his neck. Don't worry about your sales quota, she cooed. You'll make it up next month. The trainer knew exactly how to play her. He tilted her chin up. But what about this month? Ava smiled coyly. Next month, we'll have plenty of money. Just hold on for a little longer. But my rent is due, he whined, laying it on thick. Ava's eyes lit up. I have an idea. Wait here. She got up and went into the bedroom. I clenched my fists, thinking that if she dared to give him anything valuable, I'd call the police. But Ava came back with a small, embroidered pouch. She presented it to him proudly. I went to a temple and had this blessed especially for you. It'll protect you. It'll keep you from dying. The trainer's face fell, but he quickly recovered, looking around our apartment. Are you sure that in a month we'll be married, and this place will be ours? Ava guaranteed it. Of course. He still seemed skeptical. You really think your husband is just going to divorce you and give you the house? Ava's confidence was absolute. It's not a divorce. It's a widowing. He's going to die very soon. Hearing those words, even the trainer looked scared. So, even in this life, she still wanted me dead. Fine. Two can play at that game. I compiled the divorce papers, the photos, and the video evidence, and sent copies to my mother-in-law. Ava's eyes were wild as she tried to attack me. Ethan, why are you doing this? In the story, you're the one who asked for the divorce first. So that was her plan. She expected me to follow the script from her first life, where I asked for a divorce and she orchestrates my death. I laughed coldly. The papers are on the table. If you don't sign, I'll file in court. Think how embarrassing that will be for you. Perhaps fearing the public humiliation, Ava quietly agreed to go to the lawyer's office. Just as we were about to sign, my mother-in-law burst in with a crowd of relatives. She stood in front of Ava, shielding her like a mother bear. You want a divorce? Fine, but my Ava has given you the best years of her life. The house goes to her, and you split all the assets 50-50. Her brother stepped forward. Yeah, 50-50, or you can forget about the divorce. Ava tilted her head back, feigning indifference, as if this had nothing to do with her. I placed the divorce agreement in front of her. Mom, as you can see from the evidence, she's the one who had the affair. I should be asking her for damages, but I'm being merciful. It's probably because you weren't a good husband to her. My mother-in-law shot back, trying to pin the blame on me. Otherwise, why would she look for another man? That line sounded familiar. It's the classic excuse every cheating husband uses. I calmly explained the law to them. The apartment is in my name and was purchased before we were married, so it's not marital property. Furthermore, any money she spent on her lover during our marriage, I can legally sue to get back. My mother-in-law threw herself on the floor and began to wail, trying to extort money through sheer spectacle. Have you no shame? My beautiful daughter married you, and now you want to throw her out with nothing. Ignoring the writhing woman on the floor, I looked directly at Ava. Ava, you're a person of principle. You've always been above petty material things, right? True love is worth more than anything. I knew her personality. She saw herself as one of those serene, tragic heroines from the period dramas she loved, always spouting lines about noble suffering and poetic justice. If I hadn't been there to fight her battles for her, she would have been fired from her job years ago. As I expected, her chin lifted even higher. Naturally, she sniffed disdainfully. How pitiful. You have nothing but your pile of dirt. Before her mother could react, Ava snatched the pen and signed the papers. Then, striking a dramatic pose like an actress in a historical epic, she pulled a lock of her hair forward and theatrically cut it with a pair of office scissors. Ethan Cole, I can't believe our childhood romance meant nothing in the end. From this day forward, I, Ava Miller, sever this hair as a symbol. We are finished. As the paralegal handed us our respective copies, my mother-in-law scrambled up from the floor and slapped Ava hard across the face. What is wrong with you, you stupid girl? You let him sleep with you for years for nothing. Her brother glared at her. What's with the high and mighty act? If you don't want the money, you should have gotten it for me instead of letting him keep it all. Ava's eyes welled up, but she held back the tears, looking down at us with contempt. I'm going to be a rich woman one day. You'll all regret this. After getting the divorce finalized, I went home and threw all of her belongings out onto the curb. I thought about what she said as she left. Would she become a rich woman? I had no idea. In the other life, all I saw was her marrying the trainer, living in my house, and using my money to continue funding her detached from reality persona. She may have been reborn, but she failed to notice that this time, the script had changed. Without Ava, I poured all my energy into my work. The gym downstairs continued to struggle. I often saw Ava at the trainer's side, forcing a smile for potential clients. When she saw me, she'd put on a show, acting as if her life was perfect and I must be desperate to have her back. I'd just go upstairs with my beer and chicken wings and turn on the game, enjoying my freedom. This peaceful life didn't last long. One evening, Ava showed up at my door. She stood there, arms crossed. I hear you have a new girlfriend. I was baffled, but I didn't give her the satisfaction of a real answer. What's it to you? Her eyes immediately turned red. Then what was our relationship to you? Was it all a lie? Her logic was so twisted it was almost funny. Let me be clear. We are divorced. I can remarry whenever I want. And it is perfectly legal. You're so heartless, she whispered. Have you forgotten everything we shared? The promises we made when we were kids? I cut her off. Stop. If you want to star in a soap opera, go do it for your new boyfriend. I'm not interested in your games. Her face turned white with rage. I came here to ask for your help. And I'm not asking. I'm telling you. You're the only one who can do it. I was curious. Do what? My boss is firing me for missing too much work. I want you to go talk to him. Tell him he either has to give me a huge severance package or let me keep my job. If he refuses, you threaten to make his life a living hell until he agrees. I burst out laughing. Ava, are you insane? This is the real world, not one of your TV dramas where you're the all-powerful main character. Now get the hell away from my door. I refused her ridiculous request, so she just stood outside my door all night. My neighbors, who had always been taken in by her act, started knocking on my door to mediate. Ethan, said Mrs. Peterson from next door, I know you two are separated, but Ava is a good girl. She's in trouble. You should help her. I recognized her immediately. This was the woman who was always finding excuses to get free things and favors from Ava. I remember you saying your son owns his own company. I said, since she's out of job, why don't you have your son give her one? Mrs. Peterson stammered, oh, well, my son's company is very small. It's not good enough for someone like Ava. Ava spoke up, her voice stubborn. If you don't help me, I will stand here until you do. I grabbed my briefcase and walked out. Suit yourself. I had no time for a melodrama. I put in a request at work for a week-long business trip. Though I rarely spoke to Sarah anymore, she still sent me occasional updates. Ava was officially fired. Her mother went to the company and caused a huge scene, but was thrown out by security. Ava had also become something of an internet sensation, but not in a good way. She tried to build a brand around her serene and unbothered persona, but most of the comments were brutal. Give me a break. If she was really so unbothered, she wouldn't have let her family harass her old company. I live in the same building as this woman. I know her. Her husband used to handle everything for her. She just walked around with this creepy, condescending smile on her face all the time. I didn't see Ava for over a month. When I finally did, I almost didn't recognize her. She was standing on a street corner downtown, wearing a giant, goofy mascot costume and handing out flyers. When she saw me, her hand froze, and her eyes, visible through the mesh of the costume, were filled with a murderous rage. I knew that look. She wanted to kill me. To prevent her from trying anything crazy, I moved out of my apartment that night. Sometime later, a video popped up in my old building's tenant group chat. Ava's serene facade had finally shattered. She was screaming at the personal trainer. I won't let you break up with me. I divorced my husband for you. You're all I have left. You can't abandon me. The trainer's face was no longer charming or sweet. It was cold and hard. That's because you lied to me. You told me your husband was going to die and you'd inherit everything. You promised me a better life. Ava seemed stunned that he would say such things so openly. She stammered, then mumbled, but that's what happened last time. He died, you married me, and we lived happily ever after. The trainer scoffed. Can you stop pretending you're the star of some movie? Real people who don't care about money don't act like you. You love money and status more than anyone. You just hide it behind that fake, virtuous act. That's not true, Ava argued. If I loved money, I wouldn't have walked away with nothing to be with you. I care about us. It was love at first sight. The trainer knew her too well. He shot back. You walked away with nothing because you had no choice. Your husband caught you cheating. If he hadn't, you would have skinned him alive for every penny he had. With no one to defend her and no one to indulge her fantasies, Ava was speechless. She fell back on her old script. I have been wrongly accused, and I will not defend myself against these slanderous lies. I closed the video. I didn't want to waste any more time on a woman who wasn't worth it. After the divorce, my career took off. Even my business partners commented that I seemed like a different person. Living with a crazy person will do that to you. But I had overlooked one critical detail. Ava still knew where I worked. She must have been at the end of her rope because she showed up and cornered me as I was leaving the office. Ethan, I was wrong, she begged, grabbing onto me. I can't live without you. I'll change, I promise. Please, just let me come back. I'll never wash another man's underwear again, she sobbed. I'll do whatever you say. I'll always be on your side. In just a month, she looked like she had aged 10 years. She was haggard, and the self-possessed, tragic air she used to carry was gone. She clutched at my sleeve, still unable to let go of her narrative. Don't you remember us? We were high school sweethearts. You were so innocent back then. Why did everything have to change? Hearing her start in on that nonsense again, I pushed her away. To hell with our history. There is no us anymore. A crowd was starting to gather. Ava, no longer caring about her image, pleaded, if you won't take me back, just give me a place to stay. My mom is driving me crazy. I had been so busy with work that I'd forgotten. In the first life, around this time, my brother-in-law, who had never taken care of himself, had destroyed his health through drinking and partying. His body was failing, but he got a new kidney this time. How could this be happening again? Or just give my mom some money, she cried. Anything, so she'll stop trying to force me to donate my other kidney. Ethan, you know I only have one left. Watching her cry, snot and tears streaming down her face, it all clicked. Kevin's body was rejecting the new kidney. I can't help you. I said, my voice flat. Think about all those heroines you love. When they get into trouble, they solve their own problems that you've been playing the main character for years. It's time you learn to solve your own problems. I walked around her, got in my car, and drove away. In the rearview mirror, I saw her staggering, struggling to even stay upright. Afraid she would continue to harass me, I called her mother and told her that if her daughter came near me again, I would file a restraining order. I didn't see Ava for a week. Then one day at work, My phone started buzzing with notifications from my old building's group chat. Someone had fallen from one of the apartment balconies. As I scrolled through the messages and photos from my former neighbors, a cold dread washed over me. The person who fell was the personal trainer. Soon, someone posted a video of the police taking someone away in handcuffs. It was Ava, disheveled and weeping, screaming at the crowd. Why should I have to give my brother another kidney? Now you can all forget it. The Miller family line deserves to end. You're all vicious, evil people. She broke into a wild laugh. It was you, she shrieked, pointing at the body bag being loaded into an ambulance. If you hadn't acted so pathetic, I never would have felt sorry for you. I never would have divorced my husband. My life wouldn't have ended up like this. As the police forced her into the back of the car, she looked back at our old apartment building, her eyes filled with disbelief. She fought against the officers, trying to get back. She was like a cornered animal, howling, "This isn't right. This isn't how it happened last time. Last time, I pushed Ethan off the balcony, and everything he owned became mine. Yes, last time was different, but this time I was reborn." Her eyes suddenly found the camera recording her, and her expression twisted into a mask of rage and denial. "I know what this is," she screamed, a crazed smile spreading across her face. "This is just a dream. It's all a dream. Ha ha ha. It's just a dream." I was afraid it was a dream, too. I pinched myself. Damn, that hurt. The ending of this life was the same, but different. Ava was a murderer, just like before. And my former brother-in-law died anyway. After the first transplant failed, his body went into septic shock, and both his kidneys failed completely. But this time, Ava was the one going to prison. And the person she pushed off the balcony was the personal trainer, not me. I moved back into my old apartment, into the big, quiet space that was now all mine. I couldn't help but marvel at it all. This, I suppose, is what Ava would have called karma.